What's up? So in this video, we're going to be discussing the benefits of non-monogamy. Now, I did a video saying and talking about the different styles of relationships that are available to you. So it could be poly love, polygamy, polyamory. Polygamy is when a man or woman has multiple wives or husbands. Polyamory, where people have multiple loves, basically on both sides. You could have swinging, which is couples who go out together, get with other couples or other people. You have open relationships where on both sides, it's titled monogamish, where people they are mentally monogamous because they're just with that one person, but sexually they're going to be with other people. So we're going to go into the benefits of doing a different relationship style compared to monogamy. Now, in monogamy, there's a focus on possession, which invites insecurities, right? So you're permitted to be possessive because you're saying, well, that is my person and they should only be with me. They should only be attracted to me. They should only look at me and so on, which can be extremely restrictive for the person who is experiencing it. Usually people are okay with letting themselves be restricted because it then gives them the right to restrict the other person. Like there was this, I have a friend, right? This is many guys actually, or many people are okay telling, like, let's say they want to go to the club and dance with other people, but they're okay letting that desire go and they're okay letting their partner tell them not to do that, even if they want to do that, because the other person will say, okay, well, I won't do it either. And because they don't want their other partner to do it, they're okay being restricted themselves. But in non-monogamy, it takes away that feeling of needing to possess someone in order to feel safe in the relationship, because technically there isn't actually, your space can't get taken, if that makes sense. Well, how can your space get taken, and how can you feel the threat of your person doing something with someone else when you've already established, well, this is your position, I will be doing things aside from you, but at the same time, anything I do is not going to interrupt with you. So there isn't actually a threat. Like literally in monogamy, there's a threat because there's one position, the only person who can occupy it is your partner. So that partner is going to feel fearful if you engage in even little details or little communications with other people, because anything is a threat if you take interest in the other person, because there's one spot. But in non-monogamy, there's an understanding that your spot is secured regardless of what is happening outside. And as long as it doesn't take away, it doesn't really matter, which permits one party or both parties to be free to do what they want. So there's a feeling of freedom, and that is the main benefit, or one of the main benefits of this feeling, rather than being constricted and restricted by a possessive mindset. So number 2 is there's no more lying. This is perhaps my favorite one, because most people have experienced cheating or have done the cheating themselves. It's so crazy. Majority of marriages break down. It's in the top 2 reasons, depending on what state or whatever you go to. It could be finances or it could be infidelity. So the majority of us have literally seen people cheat. We have literally cheated ourselves. We have literally been cheated on. One way or another, you fall in that category. And it's so crazy. You go on social media, you go on Instagram, people make cheating jokes all the time. There's literally proof that people engage in cheating all of the time. It's so normalized that because we push monogamy so hard, there's almost an expectation that some people are going to fulfill their needs outside of what they've agreed to, which then leads to cheating. So for me, it's extremely disgusting, actually, because I hate the idea of having to lie. I talk about this all of the time. But non-monogamy takes away your need to cheat. You might still cheat. You might actually still do it. I'm not saying people don't do that, but it dramatically lowers it, because it is founded on the basis of honesty, of transparency, of openness. And if you lie whilst being in a non-monogamous situation, you played yourself, because you could have just communicated what it is that you want to do, and the person can accept it or they can reject it. There's an understanding of, hey, say what you want. It's okay. You're not going to be judged. If you want to do this and this satisfies your sexual and romantic needs, just let us know. Just let us know. It's fine. But if you lie about it, non-monogamous people hate cheaters. I'm telling you this now. People think it's an excuse to cheat, which is not the case. because many of these people engage in literal, lovely romantic experiences. It's not just about the sexual. And I would say non-monogamous communities, because I've been a part of them, I've joined them, like the Facebook groups and all of that, they hate cheaters. And I would say they hate cheaters more than monogamous people. Monogamous people kind of accept it as, well, we know it's going to kind of happen under the table. There are many women that say, well, if he just doesn't let me know, or I don't find out, it's okay. If I'm with a millionaire and he's doing this, I'll look the other way. Many people make those jokes literally on social media, but non-monogamous communities outlaw that strictly because it makes them look bad too. It makes it look like that's what people are doing it for. And they say, and a lot of the time they say, well, we are not doing this on the basis of sex. We're doing it on the basis of freedom, on honesty, and so on. So non-monogamy takes away your need to lie. And if you still lie, I don't know. You literally had the opportunity to be real. Now, number 3 is actually that it helps you work on your jealousy, and jealousy is not an issue. So a lot of the time people say, well, it sounds great, you have freedom, or the other person's not going to lie to me, or I even might get more emotional support, like in terms of what situation you're in. Let's say you could be in a situation where you are polygamous, right? And let's say, I'm just saying this because it's a common one. That's it. Because you could have different ones, but a man has multiple women. Women usually like the energy of other women. They like the emotional support, the domestic care that they can get from others, and so on. Women just like hanging out in general too. So let's say in that, there's a feeling that one of the principles is that, hey, we're not supposed to be jealous. We're supposed to be united and work together. We're going to be a team. We're going to nation build together. But we'll go into all of that stuff in another video. But the main point is that in order to have that mindset, you must work on your jealousy and not have it as an issue. So in the first video where I did the benefits of monogamy, I said that, well, a lack of jealousy or a lack of need to be jealous technically is the reason why it's a benefit to monogamy. But actually the flip side is that you're more likely to be jealous because there's only one spot. In this, there is no reason to be jealous because your spot can't get taken because your spot is secured. So all you have to do is address the emotional and mental insecurities that you have that make you jealous, because technically there is no reason to be jealous because your spot cannot get taken. There's no threat of loss. Jealousy is a threat of loss. Go Google it. Jealousy is you being fearful of the fact that, hey, this other person is a threat to the commitment and the investment that I've got from this person. But in a non-monogamous situation, that like a person's love or interaction, or even if it's a physical interaction, doesn't interrupt with what you're getting from your partner. So in these situations, let's say poly couples or thruples, they report less jealousy. They're less likely to be jealous than the monogamous couple, because in order to practice it, you have to work on your jealousy anyway. You cannot be in it and be a jealous person. You could be jealous, start jealous, and then get into it, and then you're less jealous because you worked on it. A lot of monogamous people will never feel the need to work on their jealousy, even though if you're in any situation, monogamous or non-monogamous, you're supposed to work on your jealousy regardless. But monogamous people don't feel the need to because, well, they can exist in a monogamous situation with jealousy, but you cannot be in a non-monogamous situation with jealousy. So you have to work on it, which is a benefit because you'll be happier, less anxious, less worried, like many monogamous couples are. When their partner goes out, they're worried. When they partner gets a text on their phone, they're worried. They experience jealousy. When they hear their partner said, oh, there was a guy at work, there was a girl at work, and they hear that in the story, people post about this stuff, they get jealous, right? And jealousy drives people to do crazy things. But in non-monogamy, jealousy is not as much of an issue as you think it is, because it's just accepted as a normal emotion that can be controlled and worked on. And as you're in a situation and you see, oh wait, there's actually no threat to my position, the need to get jealous, it just goes down naturally. Because, well, you're not going to keep getting jealous, because let's say you're in a situation and you're experiencing your partner, it could be even being in love with someone else or hooking up with someone else. The first time you're going to experience jealousy, but then the second time, the third time, the fourth time, it goes down because you see, wait, there's no fear of loss. Nothing actually happens. My partner doesn't love me less. My partner doesn't give me less time, and so on. There's nothing to be jealous about. Now, it's not taken away people incorrectly practicing it, but I'm just saying that this is generally what it is. Now, we're going to the next one. Number 4 is you gain a sense of self-confidence that you cannot get in monogamous situations. And the reason why is because you don't place your sense of self-esteem and self-worth in the actions that another person does with their heart and their genitals. So what I mean by that is in a monogamous situation, if your partner has sex with someone else, your life is almost damn near ruined. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. How could you do this to me? And it's interesting when people say that question, how could you do this to me? Well, that person didn't do anything to you. They did something to someone else. They hooked up with someone else. They had love, experienced the feeling of love with someone else. They didn't actually do anything to you. In fact, if we're talking about the lie, of course they did. But just take away the lying aspect. Hooking up with someone else, falling in love with someone else, isn't the person doing something to you. It's that person doing something to themselves or for themselves. It's that person doing something to the other person that they're doing it with. They didn't do anything to you. But in monogamy, you make yourself the center of what another person does with their own body to experience their own pleasure, to experience their own sense of romance and mental excitement. And it almost is crazy. It's like, if you don't give me the feeling of love, if I don't own your love, then I'm not confident in who I am. So I say, am I not enough? But am I not enough? I feel like enough because you love only me. And actually in non-monogamy, you feel enough regardless of if you're the only one or not. You feel adequate regardless of if you are loved by that person or not. There's a sense of, hey, I'm self-confident in myself because I love me. And again, just like how you have to work on jealousy, you work on your self-esteem. You don't place your sense of self-worth in what another person does with their genitals. That is absolutely crazy. I couldn't imagine thinking my world is tearing down and that I'm absolutely upset and not myself and I'm not enough because of what another person wants to experience with the other person. If they lied, fair enough, I would be hurt. But the idea of your world falling apart because they just wanted to experience pleasure or romance with another person, and that's what they saw as beneficial to their experience here on this planet and in this reality, that is crazy that I think I should own that. Do you get what I'm saying? It is actually crazy. So I don't base my sense of self-confidence in it. That is basically what the tenets of non-monogamy is. So you gain a sense of self-confidence. Now, number 5 is this. It actually keeps the fire alive. It keeps things under natural order. So humans aren't naturally meant to be or built for monogamy. They're meant to be and you see this in people's behavior. If you look down at people's behavior and you just observed without hearing what they say, without seeing what the mind says, if you just looked at their behavior and that's it, there is no period in human history ever where people have just been totally monogamous and that seemed like something that they even wanted to do. Back in the day, it would actually be normal for a man to be married, and if he went to the brothel, it wouldn't even be considered cheating. I'm not saying that's what men should do or not do. I'm actually just saying that even in the times where they said, hey, he's monogamous, he really wasn't monogamous. He was still having affairs. And actually the situation was that you could go to the brothel, which back then was like a strip club. You could go there and it wasn't considered immoral. It wasn't considered like, it wasn't against the law. I mean, it was considered as something that men was going to do. This is in, I believe, Roman times, 2,000 years ago. So, it is very unrealistic, especially in this day and age, for us to say, hey, at the age of 18, you're going to meet one person, be with them from 18 to 68, and you're never going to look or want another person again. It is extremely unlikely, especially in this generation. I'm not saying that that wouldn't be amazing for a lot of people. I'm just saying it's unrealistic. And, we can talk about the specifics when it comes to men. Like, do you really think that men want to be with one woman and that's it for the rest of their life? All of that stuff. But, we can talk about that. But let's say in terms of swinging, right? Because we talked more about poly setups. But let's say in swinging. Swingers speak so excited about what it is that they're doing. You can see there's a fire. They talk about there's an excitement, right? They're not as bored. Of course, they're not as bored because they're still having stimulation. Of course, people who are haters will say, well, it's supposed to be like this and just you and them and never look at someone else. But if that works for them, why'd you hate on it? Why'd you even care? Like, just let them do what they want to do. If it keeps the fire alive for them, then it works. And in many situations, it adds a sense of variety. It adds a sense of stimulation, adventure, not knowing what's next, even for both sides in the other spectrums of non-monogamy. So those are the 5 benefits of non-monogamy. I know people don't want to talk about this stuff. So interesting, considering that no one's human behavior mimics total monogamy anyway. But I would just invite you to not look at things in a disrespectful manner. I would invite you to just let people live how they want to live. I would invite you to not think, hey, it has to be this one way or it can't be any other way because that's immoral, that's bad. That's only going to lead to people just hiding their true nature and not living in the relationships that are fulfilling to them. So I would ask, try not to judge, try not to force your opinion and force your ways onto other people. Just let them do what they want to do and give them this information so that they know how to righteously choose and how they don't have to cheat. So anyway, comment down below, let Reemus know if there's any other benefits and if it's even something you would give some thought to. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.